Hi everyone, hope you're doing well out there. Welcome to the first of a series of videos I'm going to do. So, as it's a new year, I thought it'd be cool to kind of look back at sort of basically my favourite riffs, or maybe riffs that I haven't listened to in a long time that really shaped my guitar playing in my, like, when I started playing, when I was a teenager. So and bands that I used to love back then, and still love, but don't listen to maybe as much anymore. But it was like, it's a bit like a reflection thing, looking back at riffs that I think are great, and then listening to them maybe in a different, with a different ear, if you like. So hopefully a better ear, and appreciating, maybe what's going on with the bass and the guitar, or, the guitar, bass and the drums, or the vocals, or whatever, So kind of listening to stuff that I haven't listened to in a long time, and then, realizing, like, wow, these riffs still kick ass. They're still awesome. So yeah, so I wanted to do something fun, and, if you guys don't know any of these riffs, then obviously, hopefully you can learn them, and then have some fun with it and play along. So the first riff, it's Sabbath's Into the Void. So I remember the first time I heard this riff, and it blew me away how heavy it is, and it still does. I still think it's definitely one of the heaviest riffs, if not the heaviest riff ever. It's awesome. It's so powerful. Even when you listen to it now, it's so cool. It's so cool. And yeah, it made me go back and listen to, Sabbath and what was going on, as I hadn't really listened to in a long time. And I watched an interview with Tony Iommi recently on YouTube, and it made me think, oh yeah, man, let's go back and listen to Into the Void again. It's awesome. Such a great riff. So here it is. I'll play it and then we'll go through it a little bit. And disclaimer, I'm not trying to get Tony's sound or anything like that. I've just got kind of generic rock sound going on here. When you listen to it, it sounds like there's a fuzz there, but I don't know the ins and outs of the recording. It sounds like there's some sort of Germanium fuzz going on. But other than that, it's not like it's really filthy, There's no need to, like, overdo the overdrive on this. But anyway, because it sounds heavy anyway, just because of the detuning, right? Which you have to think, back then that was unheard of. Nobody had done that, And to this day it holds up. It's still heavy as hell. Anyway, here it is. Cool, so maybe you've picked up from that what I was doing anyway. I probably should have done that slide better, actually. Anyway, I can't really go for it because I've got tens on this guitar, so I'm not really a metal guy. I mean, I was when I was a teenager. I was definitely a metal kid, but not so much anymore. I've mellowed in my old age. So yeah, this has got tens on, so it's not set up for this. So forgive me for going slightly out of tune, which will probably be, which will probably happen. Anyway, tuning. So you're going to tune the sixth string, the low E string. You're going to tune it down. Everything's going to be tuned down a tone and a half. Okay, so that's a whole tone, or a whole step, and then a half step again, if you like. So it's going to be C sharp, and then your A string's going to become F sharp, and then your D string's going to become a B. So already looking at my tuner, I'm going slightly out, like that F sharp's going flat, right? So that's just from digging in. That's why I wasn't going to go in for it, the riff, because I've realised it's probably going to detune my strings. Now, it's standard tuning, but down a tone and a half. So, I've just tuned these 3 strings because I'm only using those 3. I haven't tuned the G, B, and E strings down as well, because like I said, this guitar's not set up for it. But if you wanted to, you just do it. It's like C sharp standard tuning, if you want to think of it like that. Anyway, so starts off with this slide from the octave from the 12th fret down, and then you've got open 3rd fret, below 6th string, and then you go to 5th, open, you go open 1, and then 2nd fret, right? So it's going up the blues scale, right? So it's a blues scale riff, right? And then you do 2nd fret on the 4th string there, on the D string, if you like. And then you've got this chromatic thing where you're pedaling using this note here on the 2nd fret on the A string, okay, on the 5th string, and then going down on the 4th string, 2nd fret, 1st fret, and open, right? So. First fret on the 5th string, okay? And then this next part, you've got this trill part, which is probably the hardest part of the riff, because you've got to make sure it kind of swings. It's really laid back. It's not, the riff. So I'm just doing it slowly. It's not that. Okay, there's a big difference there. So that's a really vital part of the song, to get that little trill part, that hammer-on pull-off, right, which is on the 1st fret, between the open string and the 1st fret on the 5th string, and then it goes to the 3rd fret on the 6th string. Okay, sorry, I didn't really go through that part, but it's important you get that. It's really groovy, grooves so much. It's not. So that's like one of the most important parts of that riff, in my opinion. It's really important that you get that part right, and you'll get it just practicing with the song, just playing along with it, because that's the way Tony plays it. And another thing I had noticed was when I was younger, because I was just always listening to the guitar, but if you notice, Geezer Butler on the bass, he doesn't actually, when Tony's doing that, he's going, bass is doing that, which is really cool, because when he hits that note here, you're getting this minor third kind of interval going on, which is really cool. It adds to the moodiness of it, where the bass isn't doing exactly what the guitar's doing. So it opens up the sound and just makes it. I mean, in this song, the bass sounds more trebly and MIDI to me than the guitar. The guitar's this real low. This has this real low sound. It's almost lower in the kind of spectrum than the bass is. So you've got the guitar doing that, and the bass is doing that, which is so cool on that part, because you get that minor third clash going on, this minor third interval, So anyway, just a little thought for that. When you listen to the riff, have a listen to the bass and the guitar as well. So yeah, that's it. This part. And then that part after after that. And the verse part's cool as well, you got that. You know, it's important you do that hammer on or slide from the 5th fret to the 7th fret. You hit the low 6th string as well with that. You know, not... It's... And then you got that muted thing there. Really hard to do that with with 10s on the guitar. So, you know, if you're into that... I almost lost my pick. If you're into that kind of thing, I'd suggest putting 12s on or something, you know. Because otherwise, when you're doing palm muting especially, you can't dig in, because that's gonna sharpen that note. It's gonna go up in pitch, right? So I've got to be careful with 10s on. Anyway, that's the riff. So I hope you got something new out of that. Yeah, and listen to the bass and the guitar. It's a cool thing going on between the two. Awesome riff. Some other Sabbath ones might pop up, but yeah, next week it'll be a different riff that I love. Yeah, and then I'll try and keep this thing going as a weekly thing, because it's fun. It's fun for me, looking, you know, and I get to listen to some tracks I haven't listened to in a long time, which is awesome. And like I said, listen to them with fresh ears, which is great. So yeah, have fun with that one, guys. Thanks so much, and I hope to hopefully see you in the next video. Take care.